womb is right there as well. So the Maya saw the dark rift as a creation place in the sky. Now the galactic alignment, this is where I need you to sort of like close your eyes and visualize. If we visualize the Milky Way as kind of a vertical, upright tree with this bulging area at the base, and then you can picture a horizontal line going through that bulging area. That horizontal line is the path that the sun, moon, and planets travel along. So we actually have a cross, the vertical Milky Way and the horizontal ecliptic path of the sun. And the position of the sun on the solstice is shifting very slowly along this horizontal ecliptic path. And every once in a while, it comes into alignment with the Milky Way. This phenomenon is caused by the precession of the equinoxes. It's a real astronomical phenomenon. The Earth wobbles very slowly on its axis, and one complete wobble is 26,000 years, and it changes the position of the sun on the equinoxes or the solstices. So what the ancient Maya skywatchers noticed some 2,200 years ago when they created this long count calendar system is that the position of the sun on the solstice was slowly converging with the Milky Way and the dark rift in the galactic center region. And so they thought of this future alignment event as being some kind of amazing rebirth. That's how they thought about it. And according to my reconstruction, that's how they integrated that into their creation mythology. Okay, so it's not just astronomy. Right away, the Maya were integrating their astronomical discoveries into the creation myth and their spiritual teachings. Because this alignment is caused by this slow shifting process, you can't say that it happens precisely on December 21st of 2012. I mean, you can't really nail it down even to a year. But it does seem to be the marker that the Maya were projecting forward to. And it is the answer to the question, at least on a sort of a scientific level, as to why they chose this date. Now, it seems like a pretty profound thing, you know. Well, the sun on the solstice is lining up with the galactic center, and this only happens once every 26,000 years, and it's a profound achievement of an ancient, quote, pre-scientific culture, you know. And those are all good things to dwell upon, you know, how advanced the ancient Maya really were. It doesn't, here's the tricky thing, it's like, so now we have the answer and we can show that this is the reason why the Maya picked 2012. It doesn't necessarily mean that this alignment is going to cause anything. Cause is a value of the modern scientific paradigm. And if you can't show that something causes something else, then, oh, it's just meaningless or worthless or something. Well, you know, why? You know, or worse, this is a great critique of the reconstruction work that I've offered, and it's usually offered by pedantic, you know, scientifically minded types. They think I'm actually arguing that the galactic alignment causes earthquakes, tornadoes, spiritual enlightenment, you know. I've never said that. I've never argued that there's some kind of causative empirical effect that the galactic alignment has on humanity. I mean, that would be, I mean, if I assume that would mean that we're just all unconscious robots, you know, that just things happen to us that from the universe or something and cause us to awaken. Or cause the earth to explode or something. I mean, that's just not the way that reality works. And it's not what you find in the Maya creation myth in terms of how the Maya themselves were thinking about this. So the metaphysics is more inclusive than the physics. But metaphysics includes physics, it can do physics, it doesn't deny physics, but it embraces a much larger field of human potential and behavior that includes, you know, spiritual aspects of our human beings and the full multidimensional capacity of the human body and mind and spirit. In a nutshell, the spiritual teaching for 2012, according to the Maya creation myth, has to do with transformation and renewal, as I mentioned, that must be facilitated by sacrifice. Sacrifice, there's that word, heart's torn out, blood, Okay, but let's just look at the underlying spiritual teaching of sacrifice, because you find it really in all of the world's great religious, that you can't have a transformation and an awakening and a renewal unless a sacrifice happens first. But what it is, it's the sacrifice of the illusions that keep us stuck to planes of limitation in our consciousness. We all have different things, different illusions that we buy into and feed. And a lot of times the screaming little voice that keeps us stuck to those illusions revolves around our egos. Me, and our selfish desires and needs. Now, I'm not saying that we need to destroy the ego, but a problem that arises, and I think it's a big problem in the world today, is the problem of an entire civilization that is built around that screaming little voice of the ego, that just wants more, and it's greedy, and it's a tyrant, and it's controlling. The thing that needs to be sacrificed is our attachment to the illusions that ego is constantly feeding us, that keep us stuck to limitation. Because then when we can get free of the limitations, whatever they are, we all have to do the work to identify what they are in our own process. For one person it might be one thing, for another person it's another thing. But whatever it is that you can identify in your own process of spiritual work, however you do that, is to disentangle from the net of illusions that is woven by the ego. So the Maya insight in terms of cycle endings, in terms of what the challenge and the promise of 2012 is, it has to do with free will, really. Again, it's not about something that's going to happen to us. We have a special opportunity, I think, at this particular juncture, because it is the end of a cycle, according to the Maya. Maybe there is something involved with the galactic alignment, some kind of energetic sort of opening that's created by these kinds of galactic alignments.